The bodhisattva is the fool who has become wise by persisting in his folly. Alan Watts. I discovered Alan Watts this week. Good stuff. A sunny day in the Midwest, and I clear my schedule to veg accordingly. Allie's still missing. Out of town, out of my routine. I'm rather aimless without her. I'm not sure this process is going to work for you much longer. The Alpha said, sitting on the deck in the sun. He relaxed into a hammock chair and swung from side to side. Desire is desire, you know, he quipped. Sitting inside my shaded castle, looking through the skylight, drinking a cocktail, wasting the day away. It felt good. It felt good letting go and just relaxing. It had been a brutal week. I turned down a Club M with Mercedes. That's liable to set me back a bit, but I needed a day to recharge and zone out. I got BBQ, made margaritas, and watched A Star Is Born. It was decently good except for the tried and true theme whereby one sacrifices himself for another via death. Whatever happened to simply bowing out, you know, or being honest? No, in movies, we welcome the one who takes the fall, for others, for themselves. Suicidal themes in movies need to go away. They make the suicide seem special when it's just running away, be it in the most effective means possible. I'm supposed to view it like it's noble, like Jack did the right thing there or something fragile and misguided, and that's true, except he doesn't get any do-over. I've been pondering communication lately. The light may hit us the same, but our offset, our choice, our refraction is quite different. Texts make us cagey, pendant on them. It's coming notions of fit and alignment. Say too much and you're babbling and overthinking or hopefully drunk. Say too little and you don't care. Calls are real. Tone and inflection, of voice, of breath, your rhythm or not. You can't help but share. In person you can feel them. Your ability to test the threshold of connection. You can feel the throughput of vibes connecting you to everyone, everything. The arc of love is preceded by the arch of obsession and hate. I feel I'm at the end of my arc. The more you run in the business, the more you lose the optics to know where you should be. Back to the stark landscape of forgetful sound, betrothed unhinged, forever bound. My ability to whisk words into subtle memory has increased as of late. Unsure why. Finding harmony, perhaps? Hey is the sexiest word in the English language, assuming you say it right, in the optimal setting, with the most complimentary circumstance. Somewhere around the hysteria and dyslexia comes the promise of a day wasted nor forgotten, but truly abated. Bold thinking is the muse of modern men, bold enough to jeopardize your true navigation in pursuit of flesh and relentless chemical misery. All over the map on this chapter. I'm running out of material because I'm close to the end. The realization. Well, that was expected, the Alpha said, leaning against the wall as I arrived home early Sunday morning, worn and torn. Club 5 was supposed to be good, and it was a strong dose of the now, what has been foretold, and what I have become. 6 a.m. rolled onto the morning menu as I climbed into bed, exhausted, frustrated. My mind started to rehash the night's events, sending me into a flurry of negative mental activity. I didn't want this. I don't want this. There is no this. The Alpha vapored, as pulled the covers over my head. His inner monologue was my monologue. What he wanted to be, I had become. And now we were at the beginning all over again. But this time, I'm different. We're different. Everything about Vera has changed. I saw this coming and denied it would affect me. But that night, another Club V in the making would send a stark reminder that our orbit had decayed significantly. In 4 hours I would be thrashing about, pissed as to what had happened, pouring myself into a full-on fuck this meltdown. Nuke it from orbit. The Alpha begged me in my mind's eye. He stood over the big red button as the laser platform we stood on laid ready and waiting for a command. Do it. He nodded at me. Pressing that button would send a huge force of plasma bombastic neutron energy to the Earth's surface, effectively wiping out everything I knew, all that I had. One final blast wave to erase time, to erase us. Flash forward to a day later and I found myself calm and at ease, surviving the storm of emotions. I had weathered it somehow. Sure, I was onto the new faith, the new compass, the new reality of what I knew to be true. But it didn't take blast from the orbital weapons platform in my mind. My twin flame, Vera, is that what she is? Twin flame? Google suggested so. Well, she was intact, be it likely oblivious to my observation, to my realization. Did she know I had turned a corner? Could she sense it? I chose not to nuke our relationship, and yet chose not to endure it as well. The gravity well of pages past, that longing for her attention, her reflection, her smile, that lure, had ended. Club 5 had run its course, and while I was free from the curse of Vera, I was back to the wishing well of endless boredom and the pressures of work. Vera was in love, and it showed. Club 5 should have been fun, but it was a night of cagey resistance. She texted her boyfriend the whole time as they seemingly enjoyed their own track of observation on me. She distanced herself from me in a famine ocean of, I'm committed. No touches, no notions, no affection. The gravity well of engagement that I knew so fondly was wildly absent. The reality of what was present, however, was a fierce reminder of gut notions coming to pass. She was taken. I knew that. I should have been taken the moment I met her. You're forbidden, Parker. I recall her saying in my head, thinking of how she couldn't have me, and now I couldn't have her. The chemistry was way off, and it was painful. I got through the evening, but the transaction reared its head in the morning as Barely slept sitting in an awkward position not to disrupt the Queen on her sofa. No dance, no attention, no affection. But here's the price just the same. Hitting 90 miles per hour on the highway home and enjoying the burst of speed and recklessness, I told myself over and over, that was the last one. I'm pretty confident that was the last Club Fi to be. No more was I going to accept this makeshift, let's hang, let's be what we were, let's enjoy that fantasy when, in reality, she was only thinking of him as I should. I've only been thinking of her at the start, Ali. Everything with Vera is about schooling me, testing me, pushing me. I disliked it at first, then accepted the rules of the game, only realized it was one of my own design. In the dawn of attraction, passion is limitless, an all-consuming force, unfazed by reality norms and moral bias. The sun had gone down, and it was time for me to accept it. Everything about her is different, really. I try and edit the notions in my mind, accounting for some degree of error not understood. I try and make up new data, new aspects to alter my vision. Surely I'm incorrect. How I feel isn't incorrect. I felt better than expected. Free. Curse lifted? Perhaps. I'm glad I didn't nuke the site from orbit. I can still be her friend. But this dance in Never Never Land, the idea that we're anything beyond the connection, cannot come to pass. In time, she'll realize this, and the test will be on her end. She's a proud construct. She never likes to show how anything about me and her ever bothers her. She is immune to flux of care or concern or jealousy, or so she thinks. Sunday morning, I pondered the ways to hurt her, get a dance from her rivals, a mind sleep with someone else tit for tat attack. What would hurt her more? That I moved on, that I danced and got close with another, or that my transaction was drifting away. Soon, I would have to face V and have this disconnect, this discussion. That was a reality for sure. Perhaps I could return the favor and make it equally unconnected, irrelevant, as if. The fantasy I had with her, it was nearly everything for me, and now it's vacant. So not only does the transaction make little sense, neither does the notion of us. Eyes open, room rather plain, nothing too interesting. A few windows expose a grass yard as sun shines, bringing the bright closer, highlighting nature's simplicity and grace as a young girl swings on a swing going as high as she can go. Back to the room, walls white, with stark simplicity, noting the only exit a door in front of me. Approaching the door with hesitation, I debate the journey. Part of me wants to stay in this room. Stark yes, simple yes, but a view of the blue sky, the sun, the trees, and the swing pleases me with sweet memories. I have to go somewhere. We have to go. The Alpha projected himself in my mind, pulling me forward, yet noting in a sense we could change everything in an instant if I simply willed it to be. I imagine the camera close up on my hand as I turn the knob, exposing a dark staircase down in a kind of swallowing hole, the swallow. Taking step down, I note no railing, nothing to prevent me from falling. Simply stepping step after step as the bright illuminates my path from behind, reminding me where I once came, and prolongs me to the future step into darkness as I go. Inside I'm lonely, even the Alpha can't help me. I'm alone. I use all the will that I have to not fall face forward into the dark, cascading down and down with no one there to help me, no one there to remind me, to tell me the story of the bright, to bring me back to the memory of a time once had a memory, once known. Halfway there now. I question where I draw my strength from. Was I forced to do this? Was this my choice? Was the swing and sun simply a fantasy, one I knew wasn't real, so I forced myself into the darkness to just witness the contrast of nothing that's really the source of everything? What does the swallow want with me? What grand message is it trying to tell me? My balance is exceptional as each step seems a bit random as I go. One longer than expected, the next shorter, and so on. No illumination now, in the dark, in the always, just me. At the end of the stairwell, another door made of glass, revealing a chamber of transparency. Stepping in as the door closes, behind me, sealing me in, showing no signs it was ever a door in the first place. All around me is glass, the transparency revealing the vastness of distance. A long hallway before me extends as far as my eyes can see. Then I see it. Water, like waves in a surfing competition, curling as they swirl, consuming every aspect of space before me, closing in on me. Just me and the water rushing down its path toward me. I feel the panic, frozen, unable to move. Part of me welcomes the approach, cleansing me at last, while another part of me wants that sight again. The blue sky, the vision of something not my own but in passing memory, the waves and the momentum become increasingly glitched out in speed and notion toward me. In one glance, they are upon me as I reach out my hand, welcoming the touch of something new, assured and awesome feeling, while in the next blink, they are forever distant and cycling up as if to pounce on my cognition. I begin to cry, feeling the loss of what once was hearing my therapist in my mind. I sense grief. You're grieving, Alison said as she sat down observing me in a moment before our session begun. My low orbit notions exposed, similar yet different. But yeah, I guess I am grieving. The waves almost upon me now, shifting my mind back to the crisis at hand. This isn't real, the Alpha said, standing next to me, wearing a lab coat like he too was a doctor now. Why are you manifesting this? He said as tears began to come down out of my eyes as I remained paralyzed, staring at the swallow's reward as it slowly approached me, each gushing notion closer than the last. Soon I'd be swept away. Since when did real matter? Entertaining the Alpha's ego, no thanks, not priority. Since when did everything need a reason why? When did everything need a cause and effect evaluation, a precise order of approval, a logic layer of asking, knowing, understood? Hurting myself felt good. It was something that I know was going to happen, something I caused, something that did work. Grieving. Am I grieving? Your fantasy is over, Alison said, projected in my mind next to me, opposite of the Alpha. Both my counselors present. Flashes in my mind of the swing, the memory of closeness shared, faded, distant. Was I ending that and embracing the next? Past the bright and into the swallow? Was the swallow just my mechanism to cleanse, to repair, to wash away what once was? The Alpha wants me to go back to the dance, the memory of what once was, as if I had control. I was merely the steward. Alison wants to caution me on the now, the next, in motion. The introspection, articulation, and reflection of pain felt no matter the cause, reason, or decision of why, and wonder is likely one of the greatest gifts we possess. Why would you want to strip that from me? To ask me to conform into a subject-gated reality, an abomination of feeling that is neither true nor me, is merely another layer of deception within itself. I said out loud, as if to tell the swallow that I controlled it. I asked to swallow to be here. My passengers faded from my side, ever so absent, as the waves nearly reach me. In a blink, Vera appears in front of me, smiling with her smirk, arms outstretched, hugging me close as she kicks her heels up, just as the wash of water hits me cold, washing her and my fantasy away, leaving a new bright ahead, in distance, the hallway empty, as I am seemingly transposed to the end of it, seeing another staircase before me, ascending up and into the bright of next.